Every local election cycle, your front doormat disappears under a heavy stack of glossy political mailers competing for your vote. These leaflets often lead with broad national issues, fixing the economy, lowering national taxes, or solving the energy crisis. Look at the actual text on these campaign flyers. Local candidates frequently campaign on national brands, focusing on Westminster rivalries rather than neighborhood issues. The difficulty is that these national debates have no bearing on the legal responsibilities of a local councillor. To cast an effective vote, you have to separate the political promises from the specific administrative work the council actually performs. Right now, English local government is undergoing a structural overhaul, the shift to unitary authorities. For decades, many areas used a two-tier system. Responsibilities were split between a county council handling things like education and a district council managing rubbish collection and housing. The unitary authority model consolidates this. It creates one council responsible for every single local service in that geographic area. Legally, these are statutory corporations. They have no inherent sovereignty. They can only do what Parliament explicitly permits through law. This creates a hard limit on their power. While they manage local delivery, they cannot influence national fiscal policy or global economic trends. The reality of the job is dictated by statutory duties, services the council is legally required to provide, regardless of the financial cost. The most expensive of these requirements are adult social care and the safeguarding of children. In a typical local budget, this chart shows these legal obligations consume roughly 70. A local councillor's role is primarily the management of a complex, heavily restricted social care fund, rather than the design of local passion projects. Councils can fund other things through the general power of competence, which covers discretionary services. These are the visible services, like local public libraries, leisure centers, community arts, and pest control. However, councils are strictly forbidden from borrowing to fund these day-to-day operations, and they face national limits on how much they can raise through local taxes. Since discretionary services aren't legally protected, they are the only areas a councillor can cut when the cost of statutory social care rises. Candidates promising new amenities without addressing how they will pay for rising care costs are presenting a scenario that is mathematically impossible. You will often see local candidates pledging to save a local hospital, shorten NHS wait times, or improve doctor availability. The National Health Service is a separate entity. It is managed nationally and falls entirely outside of local council jurisdiction. Other leaflets might focus on national security, border control, or changes to the justice system. These are Westminster domains. A local councillor has zero authority over the border force or the sentencing guidelines used in courts. Using your local vote to voice an opinion on these national issues can lead to electing representatives who lack a plan for the millions of pounds the council actually spends on local infrastructure. To find a competent candidate, look past the slogans and find the administrative plan. You can evaluate a candidate based on 3 specific areas of local responsibility. First, social care. A serious candidate must explain how they intend to manage the 70. They need a realistic approach to balancing national housing targets with the capacity of local roads and schools. Third, environmental services. They must address practical metrics of waste disposal, bin collections, and street maintenance. Campaign literature from a prepared candidate will focus on these core, legally mandated responsibilities. Finally, look for discretionary triage. An honest candidate will admit which popular services might face responsible cuts to ensure the budget balances. A unitary authority is a highly regulated service delivery corporation. As a voter, demand administrative realism from the people who will control your local taxes. Choose to reward specific local plans and reject national-level distractions. Cast a vote grounded in the facts of local delivery. True civic impact comes from understanding exactly which levers of power your local representative actually holds.